Hello everyone, how's it going today? Happy Wednesday! We are back to continue building and possibly finish the Notre Dame Cathedral. Oops, I did not mean to maximize that. Alright. So we are on bag number 19. So let's go ahead and pour it out. It is coming along quite nicely. A tiny bag of just 1x1 round top pieces. There we go. Alright, starting out with a pair of arches here. So how's everyone doing today? Notre Dame should have been Titanic-sized. A minifig scale one would have been quite interesting. Alright, let's get some slopes. And a 1x1 brick right in there. Probably easier to get this 1x1 in first over here. 2x2 slope. 2x2 corner slope. Still having pains from that fall last week. Well, if they continue too much longer, you should definitely see a doctor about it. You don't want any permanent harm from that. Alright, and 1x2 bricks. Okay, I do really like these corner slopes. I'm excited to see the 1x1 slope varieties. It's probably not a broken hip. Long sleeves, hell must have frozen over if all needs long sleeves. I mean, I'll probably have to roll them up eventually. It is a smidge chilly. It's very dry. It's like just at the point where everything starts sparking, and I need to be careful about my electronics. Howdy, Sealan. How's it going? Uh-oh. Your emotes seem to be leaking, Sealan. Oh yeah, the heat has been coming on very frequently. I mean, I don't have it set very high, but it is coming on quite frequently. Vaults are divided into 6 parts by ribs. Sexpartite vault. The Lego model follows the original by having a transverse rib at every second capital. Okay, and we are getting 1x4 plates on top. That goes well for me. Okay. Do you want these? Oops. Well. There that goes. This really does need to be locked in pretty soon. It is a little fragile and wobbly. The frog is pondering the scary pickle on the pineapple pizza. It is quite scary. We are expecting a massive storm this weekend. I mentioned it on Monday. And it's looking more and more likely. The numbers haven't changed too much. Still, you know, half a week to go, and the numbers could easily change. It could easily shift farther north, or we could get some changing temperature, and it could just like all be rain, but looks like the rain divide is far enough south that seems unlikely. Last you'd heard, it had shifted more north than expected. Well, we're dead center, and the worst of it is supposed to hit the Washington, D.C. area. So, it would have to shift a lot. I mean, the storm need not shift, but if the temperatures shifted, that would make a big difference. Get us more rain than snow kind of thing. Okay. Next up, we got 12 stacks of clear 1x1s and trans black 1x1s. All you're going to get is a deep freeze. Saturday it's predicted for a high of 7 Fahrenheit. Yeah. It's definitely interesting that the further north, it's just cold. And the kitty will survive not being outside in the freezing cold. Howdy, Lord Canis. Enjoy the animal feeding. It's actually not too bad right here, right now. It is 36 degrees. It was really cold yesterday. Today it warmed up. I think tomorrow is also going to be warm. Let me double check. Relatively warm. Relatively. Yeah, tomorrow's high is, low is actually only freezing, so. It's a warm spell. Alright, there we go. Now for the round top pieces. Get all of these in. I should have dumped these out right in front of me. There we go. We'll see how the shoveling that I'll have to do on Sunday. Because, like, the snow's not going to start until very late Saturday night, which could easily shift as well. So luckily, I won't have to shovel before or after the D&D stream, but I will have to shovel before my recording session on Sunday. So that won't be fun. Howdy, Kinshire, how's it going? Getting more of our windows into the cathedral. There we go. 2 more, and then we got to do just the trans black. Now, is the architecture? It is architecting. Now I have a temptation to make a D&D spell called Architect Detecting or something like that. Just because that would be silly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Now we have 1x1 trans black and the black 1x1 round top pieces, but no clear ones. Get that right in there. One thing you love about the portable SNES is the fact that you think it's equipped to be able to play the Japanese SNES stuff. Probably is. I don't think that most of the emulators are region locked that way. Well, I mean, like the SNES and I think the NES are not region locked. It's more of a hardware thing. I believe you can modify an SNES to read Super Famicom carts. I don't know that you can do that with the NES because the form factor is very different. You were going to joke about all being snowed in and having to cancel streams, but look what happened last time. There is a possibility I'll lose power. There is a possibility that I will lose power. One heavy snowstorm, a branch came down, took out a power line right in front of the house, and blocked my car in for like 3 days before they could get to it. And at the time, my work was not happy, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. There's a branch blocking my car in, and I have no power, so I can't work from home. I can't drive into the office, and I can't work from home. I don't know what to tell you. Alright, windows are all in. Okay, 6 of the corners. They wanted me to walk. They probably would have preferred if I had walked. And there was no way in hell that was going to happen. Nor was I going to, like, try to borrow anyone else's vehicle or anything like that. Like, I don't care about work that much. It was a great excuse to not have to do work. Even if it was very cold. The furnace was gas, but you still need electric for the blower. All you have to do is push a button to tell the hardware which region the game is fun. I saw that. Alright, get all of our arches on here. You hate misspelling words? I do too. I do too. I know the feeling. Okay. Next up. Interesting. Alright, we are not putting anything right across here. At least not yet. 1x6 there. 1x6 there. 1x6 there, and there. And 1x10s. There we go. Okay. Bag number 20 now. Oh boy, it's going to be the buttresses. It's buttress time. You hate spelling words? Mind read to text when? Probably never. But hey, Neuralink is currently killing a lot of monkeys trying to get that working. All right, get some fences on here. One by one, a corner panel. Last night you did D&D for the first time in a long time. You took the... we're told to pick one thing from modern times that we could take back into medieval times. Someone chose a nuclear warhead. That's pretty excessive. That is pretty excessive. There we go. And there are the 1x5s. 1x5 plate right there and there. I would have put a 1x1 plate in between as well. Do I have any? I got one. One is not enough. There we go. If I find another, I'll put the other one in. Okay. The flying buttresses in this LEGO model feature holes through the candle elements to mimic the water channels in the real buttresses. All right. So 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now 1x1 plates. Are you still without internet? You just like keeping pausing FF3 to write down the mobs so you can remember if you had encountered them or not? Isn't it great when you get used to a modern convenience and then you go back and it doesn't have that? I can't remember the last time I used Twitch on mobile. It was probably on my tablet when I was working. Night shift. And even then, that might have been Hitbox and not Twitch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. That really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you in the area where the storm's coming? Because you could, like, you know, say, hey, I'm going to need to work from home this weekend. And probably next week. I would definitely start raising hell. Talk about switching to Verizon or Comcast or something, even if you don't actually plan to do it. Just make them think that you will. Because that is pretty unacceptable, in my opinion. And if you call, ask to speak with a manager. Probably saying things that you're aware of, but hey, it's conversation. Okay, there we go. Got all of that. Like, that better be a pretty esoteric problem where they had to, like, escalate it a bunch. Get specialized people to work on, otherwise, feels like laziness. Trust me, I should know. I was an IT professional. I know when some things didn't get done because I was being lazy. All right. There we go. One. Probably the cable to your wall socket is damaged. I don't know, unless they were doing something in the walls, that should not happen. Cabling has a tendency to last a very long time. Because there's nothing, like... There's not a whole lot to actually break down when it comes to cabling. Unless it gets cut. I mean, cable can definitely go bad, but... I don't know, in my experience, it's not common. Alright. Getting all these flying buttresses along. 3 days last week, they said they were sending someone to look at that, then suddenly wanted to send another technician. Yeah, if you speak to the manager, give them that whole, like... You guys said one thing, planning to send someone, and then you didn't even do that. I feel like you don't actually care about my custom here. Well, yeah, I'm okay. Water getting into the cable could definitely cause a problem. That is definitely true. But that's like, I mean, that's an outside element, you know? An animal could also chew it and it could go bad. It could be subjected to high heat and go out. But cable that's just sitting there, all conditions reasonable, doesn't usually go out. First tech said it was operating out of parameters. How helpfully, unhelpfully ambiguous, yeah. Alright. All of the flying buttresses are built. Let's go ahead and start putting them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. Oops. Broke one on that side. No, I get it. It's just, like... they should all definitely not be leaving you hanging that long. Like, after a week, you should definitely be bumped up priority-wise. It's one thing if it takes an extra day to get it fixed. It's another thing if it takes an extra week. Alright. Okay, so that is the flying buttresses there. Bag number 21. Pixelates the buttresses. Oh my. He said buttress. Alright, so we're going to do 2 of these. So we need 4 1x4s. 4 windows. Alright, got our arched windows. And and going right there and there. Okay, next up. Okay, just one of these. We need 2 shorty bricks, 3 1x1s with 2 side studs, a 1x6 plate, and 1x3 tile. Those buttresses are not anchored at the top, not going to be effective? Well, luckily, LEGO doesn't actually need flying buttresses at this scale, so it's okay. It's like the house maintenance firm you used to have over there. Dad's radiator got busted, called the house maintenance. The guy says he's currently 11 miles away and starts heading this way. It's been at least 13 or 14 years since that phone call. Haven't seen the guy yet. Good lord. Okay, that gets in right there. And we're going to do one on the other side, I imagine. Apparently said firm went out of business several years ago, but details. Kind of makes you wonder if he died along the way or something. Well, I mean, if he was on the call for it. Okay, let's see. 2 of these. We need black shorty bricks. We need clear 1x1s, trans black 1x1s. We need Technic 1x1s. 1x1 plates, and 1x2 plates. Okay. Sole proprietor, yeah. There you go. That's the ticket. Okay, get that right in there. I don't know, I think the weirdest thing about the whole thing is that you're still waiting rather than having called someone else. Yeah, he'll get here one day. I've been waiting 57 years. But I'm sure any day now he'll be here. Perhaps he was bitten by a weremoose. Okay. 1x4, 1x4, 1x6, and two 2x3s. Okay. That is right there. Right there. 2x3, 2x3, and 1x6. Okay, next up. 1x2s with center studs. Double plates in between. Indeed they can. Gilded tongue. A moose bit my sister once. Alright, next up. 1x1x3s with a Technic 1x1s on top. There we go. Alright, 2 double stacks of 2x3 plates. 2 1x4s. And peak slopes. End peak slopes. There we go. Alright, next up, the windows again. Yeah, I think there's a lot more that moose can do besides biting that, I've never actually heard of a moose bite. I don't know that I'd be terribly worried about that, all things considered. Yes, exactly. So can a moose charging you, a moose being hit by your car. Okay, there's one of those. Do have moose warning signs around there, but glad to have never seen one live. They're not the same kind of moose. Isn't the European moose an elk? Like what we call an elk, as opposed to an actual, what we call a moose? Or am I mixing something up? It might be one of the other deers. Alright, 2 of these, so there we go. There we go. They call elk what we call moose. Got it. Okay, that's what it is. It was one of those. Oops. Okay, moose aren't exactly common around here. And by not exactly common, I think they basically don't appear. I mean, just because it's not an English word doesn't mean that you can't pluralize it in English. It just sounds a little weird because we're not used to it. Mooses. Let's see. If mouse becomes mice, moose should become mass? Maybe not. is a mold mark. Moose do have mass, that is true. What are they, like 1 ton or something? Normally? Alright, lots of 1x2 slopes. Meese? Moose to meese? Mouse to mice? Perhaps. Yes, actually it would be meese because goose becomes geese. So moose becomes meese. There we go. Let's get this going. This is accurate. This is correct. I declare it so. Alright, there we go. Should look up second edition moose stats. I'm not sure that there are moose stats. There are for various deer. Okay. Get the tooth elements there on top, and these go right there in the middle. Alright. It's pretty neat there. Okay. I mean, I would just use stag stats kind of thing. It's not that big of a deal. I think one of the reasons... Well... Yeah, I don't know. Not sure why they're not in 2nd edition or 1st edition, considering the people who made the game lived in Wisconsin. Which I'm pretty sure gets moose. Pretty sure gets moose. Alright, let's see. 1x1 tiles. Yeah, you could use Megaloceros stats. That would actually work pretty well. It would do the job nicely. Alright, let's see. Lots of 1x1 cones. They don't want to anger the meese and get bitten. 1x1 plates in there. And some side stud pieces. There we go. And there we go. Alright, Seelan, have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. What's scarier, a were-moose or a were-mouse? A were-moose, obviously. Canadian Ranger with a moose companion. We're off to fight the drow that keep raiding the surface, eh? Can only wear flannel and denim armor. But what if he's a Canadian Mountie Ranger? Hmm? Calling drow hosers? Oh, yeah, exactly. They're hosers, eh? That's the only time you'll pronounce that pronunciation? Well, too bad for you. Drow, 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 drow. Drow, drow, drow your boat. I mean, you don't say row, row, row your boat. It starts making pickle chucks. Hey, that's pretty gross, eh? You shouldn't do that, eh? Alright, 3 fences here. Surrounds Kaylee with pickles. Why would you do that? Why do you hate Kaylee? Kaylee's wonderful. Because I made a drow your boat pun? I was making a point about pronunciation. Ald crashes his players on Canadian planet. Yeah, just so I could do a Canadian accent, eh? It'd be pretty good. I don't exactly have a great range of Canadian, though. I tried to get one of my cousins from Minnesota to teach me the accent, eh? But she never got around to it. You say that like I haven't watched Second City, Gilded Tongue. Although my favorite will always be Almost Live. There we go. Got the side studs on the front. Okay, let's see. 4 1x2s. All clearly watched too much Second City. Let's go ahead and snooze that ad. I like how the whole I'm blanking on the name of the brothers. I like how that whole bit stemmed from them needing CanCon, Canadian content. You know, despite the fact that the entire program was Canadian. But apparently, having nothing but Canadians wasn't enough for to have CanCon. Yeah, the Mackenzies. That's it. Thank you. I've not actually seen Strange Brew. I should watch that at some point. Okay, that's done. All right, 12:20. 3 portals overseen by the Gallery of Kings welcome visitors through a majestic entrance to the cathedral. The 28 colossal statues are represented by 20 Lego cones and round elements. They're all improv and they drank real beer while making up the skits. Yeah. Pretty impressive. But also, like, why not? I think it was basically like everyone else was already going home at that point, too. It was like just them and the required staff to run the cameras and everything. Howdy, Bubba. How's it going? When I was on the tour that I took in Egypt, there weren't any other Americans in the tour group. There were some, there were a couple Brits, there were a couple people from other places, and 2 families of Canadians. One family was from Vancouver, so it didn't sound super duper Canadian. But the other group, I don't know exactly where they were from, but I'm pretty sure they were, probably from Ontario or something. And they definitely sounded not like Mackenzie over the top Canadian, but it was very obvious. And when I mentioned that I was an American, they were surprised. They didn't realize I was American from my accent. I could tell they were Canadian immediately. Going well here. All right, let's see. So 1x4s. Any update on my Lego order? Which Lego order? I make lots of Lego orders. Alright, there we go. Get that in there. That one there. Oh, the minifigs? Yeah, that's should be here by the end of the week. Surprisingly, I don't think I'm getting hit with tariffs. Alright, there we go. The heaviest part of it, yeah. Well, and I think Northern Ontario, too. But I mean, Zerfall has it to a slight degree. But yeah, it's just not heavy. Oh, I got another snooze already. Alright, let's go ahead and snooze that out a little bit more. Sus Alt might be a crypto-Canadian infiltrator. That's pretty silly, eh? Can't you tell by my mid-Atlantic accent, eh? Definitely not Canadian. There we go. Alright. Okay. 1x4. 1x2 and 2 corner plates. Zero? You mean Zerfall? Okay, so 1x6s across here. I'm assuming that's a an autocorrect. Of course, you autocorrect. Alt secretly being Canadian. Next we learn that he's a Brio Dragon or something, not Lego. Ugh. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Alright, next up. Lots of fences. Alright, 2 1x1s here at the end. I was hoping for another extra 1x1, but no. Sadly, we're not getting an extra 1x1 here. Okay, just these two 1x1 cylinder plates. And then the 1x1 plates there and there. Alright, spare parts, a beige 1x1 cylinder tile. The transformation continues. In 1245, all towers were complete. As you build the towers, you can experience some of the inner workings of the cathedral's belfry and the superstructure that supports the legendary bells. Throughout the following 5 centuries, wear and tear set in. New generations of architects oversaw modifications, repairs, and additions, like a lead-covered wooden spire constructed above the crossing. In 1300, the chapels were added to the perimeter of the choir. Alright, let's see. So, 23. Yes, 23. Question about Stardew Valley. Am I looking forward to the future 1.7 update that's being talked about? Yeah. More Stardew? I'm down for it. Loving the SNES version, Terra calls Sabin a bodybuilder, and you think in all other versions he gets called a bear? Alright, lots of 1x1 cylinder plates. That was a really good answer. It was a really good answer. Because it's silly. Like the question was silly. Like, you don't have a right to have this game that he's working on. You'll get it when you get it. Alright, lots of 1x1 cylinder plates with hollow studs. I mean, even if he, like, decides not to do it, not to finish it or whatever, it's like, we don't have he doesn't owe it to us or anything like that, you know? I'm looking forward to it, but it'll get here when it gets here, you know? Alright, there we go. Now black 2x2s. There we go. Alright, 1x1s. There are very few large bricks in this set, which is interesting. A few 1x4s, and that's about it. Well, and a 1x6. Might see if I can finagle a multiplayer game with Grimmeth out of Stardew Valley, the new update. So I can frustrate him with how I play. Alright, there we go. Now... 1x2 tiles with center studs. Okay, an ad is just about to start. There we go. Alright, then these both go up here. 100 bits, in fact, to have bits, because Alden Grimmeth Stardew would be the best thing ever. Aw, thank you. I'll definitely talk to him about that. I've been meaning to, and then when he came out with the update, I was like, you know what, I should really do that. That would be a way to bring something new to that the update. Although unfortunately you can't see, like, it's a pain in the butt to see events. Because time does not stop when you're viewing events in multiplayer. Okay, that gets there. That gets there. Okay. Let's get these to 1x1s, shorty bricks, and ingot tiles. There we go. What would Ald's share of the work be? Probably farming. I mean, I'd have to do some fishing as well. But he's definitely the miner. He really enjoys mining. Can't farm pickles. Alright, there we go. Alright, next up. Okay. 4 of these. Get those on afterwards. And Anghammeron subscribed at Tier 1. 57 months. Nice. Maybe. I mean, he'd have to agree to it, too, so... I mean, I'll talk to him when we get, like, a release date for it. we go. And how you doing, Anghamrand? Keeping busy? And we do have a hype train going with the bits and the resub. All right, so spare parts: tan 1x1, beige 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud as our extra pieces. Let's get bag number 24. 100 bits. Hype train is hype. Woohoo! You know, I wonder if some extremely fundamentalist people not happy that that the model for Notre Dame has magic wands in it. All right, 6 1x2s. No, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, get those in there. And 40 magic wands at specific angles. Oh boy. Oh boy. But Lego's not a vanity. Lego's a necessity. I read a story somewhere where a kid's mother was like, you can play D&D only if the priest bishop at the church allows it, without realizing the priest bishop DM'd D&D games. And 900 bits, Hype Train bits. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. I heard a story about a group of parents who were very concerned, so they asked their pastors to look into it, and the pastors decided to like read the games and try it out. And they came to the conclusion that the kid, like they watched some of the games and stuff like that, and they came to the conclusion that the kids were all reading at higher than grade level because of D&D. And they were having good, clean fun. This was probably the end of the Satanic Panic era, when it was dying out. Thankfully. There was so much grifting at that time. Not to mention calculated THACO, yeah. It's basically algebra. Alright, one tower of wands done. Go. And there we go. All right. Half done on the second tower. Funny how every new and popular thing used to be called Satan's work. Like, indeed, friends sitting around a table using their imagination. I mean, a big part of that was just the satanic panic. Which was so much bunk. And so grifty. So many people grifted off of it. Like, how many local police departments hired satanic experts to come talk at their, like, to go teach the officers how to keep an eye out for the Satanists and stuff like that, which were, of course, not a thing at all. It was just all grift. Okay, next up, we got the center apart. No, that's not satanic panic. That is just pure straight up misogyny, Wolfon. That is, if women can ride bikes, they are not reliant upon men to get them places anymore. That's what that was. Hype train success. I appreciate everyone's contributions to that. And there we go. Last. Okay, there we go. Okay. So 1x8 with double fencing. That emote is adorable. It is pretty cute, yeah. There are some pretty good emotes. Unfortunately, like, I find it just annoying to find them in the lists. Especially when you follow more than a handful of channels. Alright, more fences. Yeah, Satanic Panic, I mean, there was obviously other periods of time with Satanic Panics, but the Satanic Panic of the 80s was very, very specific. I'm pretty sure TVs was more about, oh, it's going to rot your brain kind of thing. I mean, Pokemon, Digimon, and Magic the Gathering kind of came in after the Satanic Panic was basically done. I mean, they're like, one of the problems with the Satanic Panic is that we're always going to be people who continued to believe it after it was known to be complete and utter bunk. All right, let's get that on there. But I mean, the Satanic Panic was petering out at the beginning of the 90s, even. But that didn't stop my aunt and grandmother from being very annoyed that I started to teach one of my cousins Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, they did. I don't know, like, there's multiple cards that they have either altered the art for or just banned outright for various reasons. Not always because of, like, Satanic Panic stuff. Yeah, I have the card that had the pentagram. I have both the version with and without the pentagram. There we go. Next up, rotate it around. Yeah, it was. It got censored around 96, I think. Because, like I said, I have both versions. It was either censored for 4th edition or 5th edition. I don't remember which one. But there was also an artist who did some artwork. Turned out he was a white nationalist, neo-Nazi guy, and they banned one of his cards entirely because the artwork had some, like, symbology or something like that. You only know because of a YouTuber who's really into Magic the Gathering did a Let's Play on Chandelar. Yeah, that would have the original artwork, I think. Can't remember if you can get stuff like Mox Rubies and Black Lotuses in Chandelar. I never got very far in that game. It is not easy. It is not an easy game. Alright, there we go. We got our toppers on there. Alright, 4 1x3s in the front. And then a 1x4s on the sides. Oops. There's a Magic the Gathering card that after a few reprintings they had to change the artwork because the artist snuck in a not safe for work scene into the artwork. I missed hearing about that one. Okay, 1x1 plates with teeth on either side. And there we go. Alright, spare part. A single beige magic wand. Okay, bag number 25. Alright, time to do some roofing. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Alright. It's very subtle. Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it gets past, gets past them. Alright, 2x3 slopes. Yeah, there's like one frame in The Rescuers that had some nudity. But since it's just one frame, it's basically the only way to see it is if you slow the movie down and, you know, like, go from frame to frame. At least this roof will not be melted by fire? No, it will not, because I will not let fire near my Lego. Alright, there we go. Now more 2x4s. I do think it's pretty unprofessional to try to get, like, nudity into stuff like that. Like, if you want to do nudity, just go do nude art. Like, I get that it ends up being inside jokes, but you could do other inside jokes. There's lots of ways to do inside jokes. Like, if you're animating a car driving, you can give it a license plate NCC 1701. There's the thing about a Donald Duck comic book having a vase with Chinese writing on the cover. I don't remember it fully, but I think the text translated into something rude about feces. Pretty sure it was a Finnish edition of that magazine. Yeah, and that kind of thing would be done too, and you know, just make them not rude and stuff like that. That's my opinion. There's no need to piss people off, you know? Hold on a second. I need to step away for just a moment. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry about that. I am back. Alright, let's get more onto this roof. Posted it to Discord. Alright, I will take a look at that after the... Actually, no, I can take a look at it right now. I can't show it to viewers, but... Oops, that's a 2x4. Yeah, it's pretty subtle, because I can't see it on just a glance. I will have to look at that later. See, the long sleeve was too much? I mean, it got to be a little warm now. You know? Being a dragon does mean that I warm places up, so, you know. And actually, I just rolled the sleeves up. Okay. So we got those now. Timber for the wooden structure of the cathedral came from around 1,300 oaks, or the approximate equivalent of 51.8 acres of forest. That's a lot. That is a lot. There we go, get that there, and that one. Right there. It's kind of interesting to think about, like, with actual giants, D&D style giants, how much wood they'd actually need to build things. It's a lot. Okay. 2x2 right there. A lot of wood and stone, yep. Alright, let's get our peak slopes on here. Interesting that it's all 2x2s and not 2x4s. Okay, there we go. And then on this side, there we go. 1220. The body of the cathedral is complete except for the towers. Alright, so this goes right here. And it's only loosely on so that it can be easily lifted off. So you can look inside. Okay, bag number 26. You know what? Bags are getting smaller and they're deep, so I'm going to pull them out. There we go. Yeah, I do like to carve up mountains in Minecraft. It is a very, very lengthy process, but it is satisfying when it is done. Could be worse, not a rogue AI. You could be doing that to K2. And then K2 will murder you. For daring to carve any of it away. Alright, flip them over. If you had Minecraft in arbitrary amounts of time, you'd build a tower from the bedrock to max height with a pool around it and jump. Probably not even that hard to do. I guess it depends on how big you want the tower to be, and how big the pool, how big you want the pool to be. I don't mean in height. I mean in like width and stuff. Alright, there we go, and then 1x2 round end plates. If you joined a server for Minecraft, you'd rebuild your one build that you loved? Okay, how many of these do we want? Okay, just the one each. Build takes so long to get the resources for it because it was a very resource-heavy build. I really like my my castle town that I built. Okay, there we go. Got those parts now 1x5s. All the way around. So 4 of them. Lots of sand and gravel and dyes, lots of clay. Ooh, yeah, that is pretty resource heavy. Alright, now lots of 1x1 cylinder plates with hollow studs. There we go. By the time you were done building most of it, you were so exhausted. You missed trying to guess what would kill my hardcore runs? You mean besides me? You lived Kiko's first hardcore run? That was pretty impressive. It was very impressive. I've never heard of that happening any other time. That was a very sneaky creeper. Oh, wasn't that the second hardcore run? The first hardcore run, he spawned in dirt. But yeah, the sneaky creeper. It was very much a complacency situation, too. Like, it was dark out, I think it was raining, he hopped on his horse and then went into his inventory. Like, the game doesn't pause, no, don't do it! You could see that he just didn't see that creeper too, because he was there. I mean, obviously not as a criticism. I mean, it's pretty easy to miss that kind of thing, especially when it's dark. And YouTube tends to brighten things up, so it may have actually been too dark for him to see. I don't know. On his screen. Twitch also brightens things up. There's a lot of things that you guys could see that I could not when I was doing those streams. Alright, last batch of 1x1 peak slopes here. Alright, there we go. Okay, that gets on right in there. And this one gets right in there. Okay, 27 and 28. Alright, so 4... Actually, we need to do 8 of these. Okay. Oh, boy. Alright. Two, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. See on Twitch things all doesn't see, like that ghost that keeps possessing the Lego bricks. There we go. So lots and lots and lots and lots of these. Okay. It's almost like buildings tend to be repetitive, you know? Weird how that works. Come back here. Okay, so we got 4 of these done now. Okay, that's 5. I do really like these shorty bricks. They are pretty useful. Kind of surprised it took them so long to make them. I think they made them for Minecraft, the Minecraft sets, actually. I think I saw that LEGO's going to try a kind of collectible minifig style thing with little Technic sets, which could be interesting. Be very curious about those once we get better pictures of them. I don't get that interested in Technic these days. I tend to prefer the older style Technic that they don't make anymore. Okay. One thing you wish got added to Minecraft is an uncrafting table for things. That would be nice. Especially when you find, like, garbage items. And be like, I would like to turn this into its constituent parts. Or at least get more out of it than, like, incinerating it. Howdy, Shield of Hope, and welcome back, Lord Canis. Are all of the aminals fed? You have a lot of excess diamond gear from a few villagers that you'd wish to uncraft? Okay, so that's one of those. Surprising how many games don't have any sort of delete option for unwanted gear. Well, there's a delete option in Minecraft. It's called tossing it into lava. Like, I really like the blacksmith building that will spawn, because it has a little bit of lava there, and you can just, like, chuck unwanted junk in there, like the leather gear. Reminds you of all the gold stuff you got from mobs that you wanted to uncraft? Yeah, because best you can do is, like, just turn it into, like, a gold nugget or something by melting it. It's what I tend to do with finding the gold equipment in underwater chests and stuff. Just melt it down. But it would be nice to get more out of it, because you only get like one gold nugget or something. Which is pretty pathetic considering how much it takes to make one of those. It's a lot of waste. I mean, I'm okay not getting, like, the full amount back, but I do think that you should get, like, half of it back or something. Howdy, Chutney Bucket. It's going okay here. Preparing for our winter storm this weekend. Supposed to get up to 2 feet of snow. We'll see how that actually tracks. I think it's pretty unlikely that we'll get that. But if they're calling for 2 feet of snow, and us being right in the center of it, I do think that it's probably pretty likely that we'll get like 1 foot. Alright, so there are those. Now we want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. Black 1x1 plates, tiles. And 1x1 plates. Yeah, it's kind of amazing that like the DC area where I live is just smack dab in the center of where it's coming, of the whole storm. Alright, finding 1x1 tiles in a mixture of 1x1 tiles and 1x1 tile slopes is a pain in the butt. I don't like it. Alt's house somehow gets 6 feet while everyone else gets 1 to 2 feet. Hey, I don't have to leave for a while, so I'm okay with that. I'll tunnel my way out. Is snow common where I am? Snow used to be common. We get a decent couple inches, like a snowfall that gives a couple inches, like 3 or more, every other year or so. But, like, if you look at pictures from 100 years ago, snow up the wazoo. Should have sorted? I mean, it is sorted. It's just not sorted to my taste. We've been getting less and less snow, for obvious reasons. We're getting more and more subtropical every year. No. No, you do not need winter tires in this area. Three inches is enough to shut everything down for a day, but only a day. Yeah, Hagerstown gets more snow. It's fairly, like it's reasonably far north, and it's outside the heat island effect of either DC or Baltimore. So Hagerstown, Frederick, they all get a lot more snow. It's amusing that 100 years ago now means the 1920s. Yeah. Pretty sure they got more snow back then. That's for sure. And howdy, little bunny. How's it going? My cousin works at a national park down in Virginia, and they had an exhibit of when they took survey photos of the area for the park, to make the park. And the winter stuff is just completely snowbound. It is such a complete difference. Oh, I'm not still here. I'm just a figment of everyone's imagination now. Alright, there we go. There's those. Now, okay. Lots of these. All of these. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your cousins in Silver Spring probably get as much snow as I do. Well, yeah, there's a reason for that, Kinshire. There's a very good reason for that. Much closer to me? Yeah, you could say that. You're going to question your sanity if a pair of hands assembling Lego and a disembodied voice is something your imagination cooked up? Well, I mean, it's a mass hallucination, Wolfon. It's something in the water. Oh, good lord, I did that wrong. Alright. These are supposed to go down. Because that makes it better. You at least would feel better if you weren't alone in the delusions? Yeah, see, there you go. You know? Always look on the bright side. Okay, we got an ad break running. Alright, so there's one of these. I guess we'll start putting them over there. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got around 10 or so inches so far. Nice. Lots of snot bricks, yeah. Kind of wish they weren't beige. I have got a lot of beige ones. And unless they're buried, I don't make a whole lot with beige. Although I guess I should make a Practice Chevalier. Okay, there is something rather large in my ceiling. I'm going to have to go see what I can do about that after the stream. Howdy, Mad Rhapsody. How's it going? I think that's a safe bet that it is not that. Okay, that's 2. It is not Shelob. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhausted but relieved, long day. I'm sorry it was long. Hope you can relax now. We got some Lego building here going on. Definitely going to finish this tonight. Am I 100% sure that it isn't Shelob? Yes, I'm 100% sure that it's not Shelob. I have a deal with Shelob. Ew, no, Kinshir. Yuck. It's gross. Okay. So there we go. That is 3 of them. Good can strike a deal with evil. As long as the deal isn't evil. I didn't say what the deal was. She stays out of my house, and I don't incinerate her. That's the deal. There we go. Okay, this brings us to 4 of these. One, 2, 3, 4. Lots and lots of repetitiveness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. I didn't sell you all to the spiders. Just a few of you. Eiffel Tower kind of repetition? Oh, no. No, I don't think anything's going to be that level. That said, I would get another set like that. All right, there we go. Isn't that why you have cats, though, Wolfon, to eat them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always blaming Arachne, jeez. So rude. What did she ever do to you? Thankfully no bugs in winter. Oh, I wish that were the case here. They make earthquakes, all the Arachne do. I wonder why they did that with the Arachne in FF4. Like, is that a Japanese mythology thing? I know that they hold that, like, a catfish is responsible for earthquakes in some myths. I don't know about spiders. See, I just don't want them in my house. I'm not too scared of insects. I just don't want them in my house. I don't like them. I like looking at ants outside, though. They're pretty cool. I used to have an ant farm. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, last of these pieces. Yes, Poseidon is responsible for earthquakes in Greek mythology. But I mean, they can have, there can be multiple things, because, like, Etna and Hephaestus are both responsible for volcanoes, as are other mythological entities who got buried under mountains. Alright, there we go. Okay. The towers house the cathedral's legendary bells. They were first installed in the North Tower, also known as the Grosse Tour or Guillaume Tower. Okay, and there we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. It's actually very fragile right now, so... There we go. Okay. One tower there. Yes, the Carol of the Bells. I don't know why they gave bells to Carol, but they apparently did. Who are we to question it? Alright, spare part. One black 1x1 tile slope. Alright. Let's get that on there. And that on there. Okay. 29 and 30. Okay. Let's get some 1x1 cylinder plates with bars up here. Carol worked hard for those bells, so Carol deserves them. Did she, though? Did she? I think she might be gaslighting you. I don't know. Don't believe Carol's lies. Carol is a nepotism hire. Okay. So now, 1x1 cylinder plates. Okay, and last two. There we go. Alright, and fences. Okay, there we go. Next up, 2 of these. We need 3x3 plates. You want more playable Banga characters in FF12 and its surrounded side games? Yeah, it is a little weird that, like, all of the main characters in 12, except for one, is human. Although I'm not sure Van counts. I mean... Alright, 1x1 cylinder plates. Okay. I mean, he wasn't entirely pointless. He did tell everyone to not believe Andor's lies. So we did accomplish that. Okay, 1x1 tiles. Van is way more pointless than Titus. Titus is literally the catalyst for the entire game of FF10. There we go. Alright. 2x2 radar dish. And 1x1 cones. Alright, so that goes up there, with that on that side. That goes over here. That facing that way. Alright, making 2 of these. There we go. Alright, 1x1 tiles with top clips. There we go. Alright, now we want those inverted tiles. me see what exactly we're doing with these. Okay, good. That is correct. Okay, so that's going to go that way. That one is going to go this way. There we go. All right. Pull these forward. And that goes right there. And this one goes right there. Okay. Now another 2. Two by 2s and 1 by 2s. There we go. Okay, and some log bricks. 2 more 2 by 3s. Side stud and tile here. And 1 by 2 bricks, Technic bricks with cross axle holes. Another pair of 2 by 2 plates. And 1 by 2 slopes. Okay, next up. Headlight brick with 1 by 1 peak slope. There we go. And then on the other side. Okay. Next up, 1 by 2 with center stud. One by 1 plate with clip. And 1 by 2 tile on top. Try to get that centered a little bit. Behind them are a pair of 2 by 2 slopes. And then 1 by 2 slopes with tile and cutout. Get these on top of the tile there. There we go. Okay, 1x2 peak slopes. And 2x2 peak slopes. There we go. Okay. Now, let's see, that is going to go, yeah, all right. Get that right in there. Make sure that's straight. Okay, 2L axle and a hubcap. This is a car hubcap right there. Get that in there. The Ronso are very underused. All of the secondary races, except for the Guado, are underused, really. Oops. There we go. Okay, there are 9 spokes on this hub, so it's not... There is no point where it's perfectly perpendicular. Alright, the smaller rose windows are represented with Lego hubcap elements. That is what those are. Which is what I said, Lego. Jeez. Making me repeat myself. And we get this spire piece on the top. There we go. Okay. The overall structure is complete, 1245. Alright, slide this in here. Slide this in here. And these slope down to peak the roof. Alright, so spare parts. Dark gray 1x1 tile, dark gray 1x1 peak slope, beige 1x1 quarter cylinder tile, and beige 1x1 cylinder plate with a bar. Okay, next up. 1245. Modifications continue and lateral chapels are added along the nave. So this is 31 and 32. Alright, so we need 30 1x1 plates with teeth. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go all the way along here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, all right. I'm not missing any other locations here. You'll blame me? You should blame yourself or God. There would be a lot of repetition if this were minifig scale as well. How many bags left after this? 2. We got 33 and 34 left. We are almost done. Some landscape, yes, because there's some green in there. I don't know about what else, though. Oh, there's also the spire there. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this here. Get the 4 on the front. How many minifigs tonight? 3. We are back to 3. Okay, 13 of these left. Ooh, that got turned. There you go. Sounds like there will be no Harry Potter or Minecraft advent calendars this year. So I wonder if they have not been selling well. Only one that I know of for sure is Marvel. But I'm pretty sure there will be Friends and City as well. Hope we get another paleontologist in a dino suit tonight. I think they should do a castle advent calendar. Just a one-shot castle advent calendar. That'd be pretty awesome. Okay, and there is the last of those decorations. Next up, Revolution and Cultural Legacy. During the turbulent years of the French Revolution, 1789 to 1799, the noble Notre Dame Cathedral suffered damage and gradual decay. Windows, altars, and tombs were destroyed, the bells were dismantled to be melted down. In 1792, rioters tore down the statues from the Gallery of Kings and dismantled the spire. For a while, the cathedral was even used to store wine and other goods. But in the wake of the Revolution followed an emerging awareness and appreciation of French national heritage. The publication and widespread international acclaim of Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1831, cemented the cathedral's status as a cultural gem in world history. From 1843 to 1860, architects Jean-Baptiste Lassus and Eugène-Emmanuel Viollet-le-Duc led the cathedral through an extensive restoration campaign to the version of the historic landmark we know today. Okay, so here on the back end, go, and 3 one by one cylinder plates there. That's definitely not what dragons are. Dragons are awesomer than dinosaurs. And dinosaurs are pretty friggin' awesome, so just kind of indicates just how awesome dragons are. Alright, we have these spear points. Yeah, but so are birds, not Arogii. Griffins are cuter and cooler than dragons? Shut your mouth. Sphinxes. That's the proper English pluralization. Okay. And then on these two, we get 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. One, two, three. Shut my own mouth. But then I can't properly stream. Okay. Get a spear in there. A spear in there. A spear in there. And a spear in there. All right. Get these guys in. Okay. And then the exterior of the two. There we go. 1. 2. 3. And 4. This overhead shot looks like a bone necklace. There we go. Alright. 1350. Finishing touches to Notre Dame are complete. Pinnacles on the uprights of the flying buttresses were redone before they were replaced yet again in the 19th century. Alright, so 14 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whoop, nope, come back here, come back here. 13, and finally 14. Griffins are more diverse in what's mixed and how, thus having a wider inherent creative value than dragons. Excuse me, what? There are so many different kinds of dragons out there. And I don't just mean, like, chromatic and metallic. Buttress really sounds like something you'd lean your posterior against when you're tired. Well, that would buttress you. I mean, it might also be derived from butt rest. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. And let's go down here. Is there a rock candy dragon? No. I mean, there might be rock candy in the shape of dragons. There we go. All right, next up. So these 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, and 7, 8. Gonna be honest, it's a little weird that you guys want to eat me. I don't know. Seems a little weird. Okay, there's those 4. Now we get our spear points. There we go. Wow, so mean. You guys are mean to me. You know that? It's very weird. You should be nice to me. Alright, there's those points. Next up, we have 1858. The tabernacles on the flying buttresses are added by Jean-Baptiste Lassus and Eugene Emmanuel Violet Leduc. So that's going to be 14. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And it is just the peak slope on top. I have to be nice to you first, and I'm not. I am so nice to you guys. I'm building Lego for your enjoyment. Putting up videos of video games for your enjoyment. I am dying in Minecraft for your enjoyment. I've created a Discord community full of friendly people for your enjoyment. So many things that I give you guys. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and make the ones for the other side. And flip it around to put those on. I haven't died in Minecraft in a long time. That's true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't do it for you guys. Okay, one tabernacle left. I have no idea what a tabernacle actually is. I mostly know it in the relevance to a tabernacle choir. What about all the stuff about hating pickles? I hate pickles for your enjoyment as well. Give you guys something that you can be mean to me about for your enjoyment. Not sure that's how that works. Kinda does, though. I could have kept quiet about pickles. Alright, next up. I did something incorrect. What did I do? Oh, whoops. Okay. These have 2 cylinder pieces underneath them. Name one time I've died for your pleasure as opposed to us having to eke out some measure of pleasure from my dying. Every time in Minecraft. Alright, so spare parts, all beige. 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud, 1x1 peak slope, spear point piece thingy, and a 1x1 plate. I think we're going to try taking off this roof here. Yep, there we go. And let's slip this under here. Perfect. So we got a pair of extra 1x1 plates to make those nice, smooth thingamajigs. Alright. Tempted to make homemade chili sometime? Not a fan of chili myself. Tabernacle is apparently temporary dwelling place or place of worship. So I'm not sure why tabernacles would be there, but whatever. That's fine. Alright, so 33 and 34, the last bags. The last of the bags. The lastus bagus. Okay. Okay, so we're getting a pair of rapiers. At 226 feet, 69 meters, the two towers of the western facade made the Notre Dame Cathedral the tallest building in Paris until the construction of the Eiffel Tower, 1887 to 1889. There we go. So now the Eiffel Tower is ready to fence. All right. 1843 to 1860, major restorations by Jean-Baptiste Lassus and Eugene Emmanuel Violet Leduc. Let's flip it around. I'm pretty sure we're done with the front facade. Okay, and we get little micro figures up here. Or some statuary that I'm pretty sure on the box, one of them is turned around backwards. There we go. And the last two. There we go. Okay. Oh, we're not actually going to do the spire part there. We are going to do some greenery. Okay, first of all, dark green 6-stem plant and 6 dark green 1x1 plate flowers. You have an ad about to start, but let's go ahead and snooze that for a little bit. And a brown telescope for the tree trunk. That goes right there. Now for a little bush. Purist chili heads would be aghast at leaks. Well, too bad for them. People can enjoy their food any way they want. That's the nice thing about food. Let them, exactly, you know? They don't matter. Unless they're sitting down to the table. Okay, there's 2, and now the third one. Okay. Tree goes there. Tree goes there. And a tree goes there. Alright, what do we got on these other 2? Current size of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Facade width, 142.7 feet. 43.5 meters. Transept width, 157.5 feet, 48 meters. Total length, 419.9 feet, 128 meters. Spire height, 314.9 feet, 96 meters. Tower's height, 226 feet, 96 meters. Nave roof height, 114.8 feet, 35 meters. Okay, so we got 2 of these. And 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, customizing your food, putting your own touch on something, that's good. It's really good. Speaking of, I made corn chowder for my family again when they came into town, and they were like, could you use a little less pepper? And I'm like, okay, fine, I will. They really liked it this time. Like, even much more so than before. So apparently I found the perfect amount of pepper for them. I thought I could use more pepper. I'm not a big fan of onion. Oop. No, good. Didn't go on the floor. Not a big fan of onion flavors. When they get heavily caramelized like in French onion soup, I like that. But there's a strong oniony flavor. Not for me. Hope they like the hardtack. I got oyster crackers. That's what we used. I made the mistake not too long ago of pouring the dregs of the oyster cracker box into a bowl of soup that I had mostly eaten. It's a bad idea. It was a bad idea. I was like, oh my god, the salt. I like salt, but oh, that's too much. There we go. I do have an ad break just about to start. So you're saying if one were to use some Create Undead, you could use that soup to make salt mummies? Probably. It depends on how much salt you need. It was pretty salty. And I was pretty salty at having done that. It was not good. It was not good. And I like salt. If I say something has too much salt, you know it has too much salt. Yeah, I really do not like onions and fried rice. Which really annoys my mother, because when she makes fried rice, she likes making it with onions. And I don't like that. Okay, there we go. Get these last two in. Okay. And finally... There we go. And then the trunk. There we go. And there we go. Alright, some large trees. Alright, not a rogue AI, have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the spire. One by one tiles. There we go. And two 2x2 cylinder plates, and we have... Did I miss a flower on one of these stems? We got two green flowers left, and I did not. Huh. Oh, whatever. Go ahead and bring all these pieces over here. Alright, so another quartet of statues here. I think the only foods you don't like is blue cheese. Blue cheese like cheeses? I like blue cheese if it's salty or if it is with meat. It was funny, there was a brand that my grocery store carried that was nice and salty, and it did not have any more salt, like sodium, than the other brands. So I have no idea why it was like that, but I liked it. But then they stopped carrying it. And I can't even remember what the brand was, unfortunately. So I can't, like, go look for it easily. Okay, another pair of 2x2 cylinder plates. And then we get a 1x1 cone at the top and 8-tooth gears all the way down. It's like a mace. This does make for a nice Lego mace. An 8-tooth gear on the tip of a rod. Okay, then that goes in right there. (1860). The spire is reconstructed, now slimmer and taller than the original, with the addition of sculptures of the 12 apostles along the slope of the roof. And we have a rapier on the top. The front doors of the Lego Notre Dame Cathedral are open to allow us to peek through and feel the sense of awe you might experience when entering the intricate, vast arched space within. The single statue facing the spire has the face of Eugene Emmanuel Viollet-le-Duc. Oh, there is one facing it. Okay, that is going to be... Hold on. Is this one. So it's not wrong. Okay. So I got that one turned around now. Let's see. He gazes at the spire in appreciation of the building while the others watch over Paris. Alright, well, fun. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. There is the spire on there. Fire and rebuilding. After the devastating fire in April 2019, the Notre Dame Cathedral was forced to close indefinitely, pending reconstruction. As the world watched rescue workers extinguish the fire, global fundraiser campaigns raised overwhelming contributions to the extensive rebuilding efforts in record time. A testament to the lasting impression the Notre Dame Cathedral has left on people of all cultures throughout its lifespan, and to the incomparable spirit of Paris. With nearly 900 years of history packed into more than 4,000 LEGO elements, we are excited to include this model in our LEGO Architecture collection. Okay, spare parts. 2 green 1x1 plate flowers, 1 dark green 1x1 plate flower, 1 sand green microfigure, 1 dark gray 1x1 plate, and 1 dark gray 3L bar. Okay, so just repositioning my view. All right, so we can see the side there. There's the spire. going to be a little hard for me to show the facade off easily. But you can get a feel for it that way. Little, some differences in the 3 gates. And if I do that, and let me... Let's see, can we actually look in? No. No, okay. I was hoping to get enough light in there to make it show up, but it doesn't really. Alright. But, very nice. Very nice. Howdy, Duke Darkwood. And we have the rear as well. All right. So it's very nice. It's a little repetitive at times. I mean, with all of these buttresses and everything like that, and all of the windows. But I mean, that's also just like the architecture line. It's kind of, you know, what are you going to do about it? I really, really enjoyed building it, though, and it looks really nice. It would look really nice on a shelf. So, for those who are interested in Gothic cathedrals, definitely consider picking it up. But it is about time for us to do some minifigs. So let's move that back. Let's get our things all ready. And we are still missing one from this series. Series 13. Alright. 6. So, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. Let's do a D4. D8. Alright, 4. There we go. And let's start our prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Go ahead and get your predictions in. So we are missing just the fencer, who does have a rapier, like the cathedral has. 9. So that is the carpenter, which I'm not sure if there are any more carpenters left, but maybe. All ready to go help with the reconstruction of the cathedral. So Bahamut goes for 4. That would be the snake charmer. So go ahead and get your predictions in. So LEGO has a new ideas challenge. I don't know that it will become a set. There's just like some grand prizes. But it's a micro-scale space thing. And I got an idea for what I want to do. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna see. I didn't see any size limitations, so I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if it is supposed to be small. I mean, it's micro scale, so it's small scale, but I don't know if there's like a limit on the number of pieces. But I have an idea of what I want to do. All right, get your predictions in. 30 seconds remaining. Let me get my timer all ready. Oh no. The Sunday prediction for snow is under 2 feet now. That's terrible. Gonna make a space barbecue grill out? No. No. Alright, get your predictions in, but it is too late. Alright, let's go ahead and reposition on my chair and go. Alright, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Legs. I need something other than legs. What is this? What is that? What is that? What is that? The heck is that am I feeling? Like, seriously. Someone tell me what I'm feeling. Because I don't know. It feels like a tool, but I'm not, like, seeing anything that this is matching. Okay. 57.07. I think we have the Cthulhu alien. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Tonight's guessing begins with a Minotaur Painter's Apprentice, and the Soldier of Pharaonic Egypt, and Leonin Priest King of Candyland. All right. Took me a little bit, but I did get it correct. It is the Cthulhu alien. So let's go ahead and choose the outcome. This was throwing me off. I did not feel this part, and that's what was throwing me off. I was feeling like down here. I couldn't get up there and feel that. All right, 50 to 60. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? All right, Shield of Hope and Kinshir getting all the hams. Very nice. Bahamut going for within 20 seconds. Lord Canis going for 20 to 50. And Lel Bunny going for no. A gun would make a decent axe if you hold it right. Well, it also needs to have a sharpened blade. So this has a clip on the top so it could get like a tranquilizer dart. Like that's what they've used it for. It's like a tranquilizer gun. But the Cthulhu alien has a blaster and he is ready to blast you. For daring to mention the old ones. High-tech Elithid. Alright, so let me go ahead and mark that one off. That is our second of that one. Still not getting the one that we want. But next up is Series 10. And there's always a chance that it's Mr. Gold. There's always a chance that it's Mr. Gold. There's no chance that it's Mr. Gold. Alright, 1. So that's over here. D20. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right. That'd be awesome if I did get a Mr. Gold. I mean, I am completely positive that I am not getting a Mr. Gold. But, well, okay, 99.9% sure. All right, let's get the predictions going. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Let's go ahead and roll my beautiful bean footage. 15 again. That would be the painter. That would be the painter for me. All right. This one's going to be a Mr. Iron Pyrite. Next guess is a Minotaur Cathedral Stone Hauler. Bahamut goes for 3. That would be the Roman Centurion. Leonin Painter painting religious stuff. So ham, in other words. A Medusa. She's not mad. She's not mad. All right, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? And what will it be? All right, got about 50 seconds remaining. Get your predictions in. I do really like the seagull, and I'm glad that they've continued to make the seagull. She should be considering her origin story. I do really want the Medusa, though. It's a great minifig. All right, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? I wonder what Mr. Gold replaces in a box with Mr. Gold. That's a good question. All right, just a few seconds remaining. Let me go ahead and reset my timer. There we go. All ready to go. Get your predictions in. And time is up. Okay, and go. Okay. 5.21, we got a Medusa. The coils gave it away. The coils gave it away indeed. Wow, that is a very snaky there. No printing on the back of her torso. See, we do have a double-sided face, so let's go ahead and make her angry. It is rubbery. I'm not surprised about that. Okay. And this part of the tail is rubbery. This part is hard plastic. Snack Lady, indeed. Let's go ahead and zoom in on Snack Lady. Actually, before we do that, I should choose the outcome before I forget. Within 20 seconds, complete that prediction. Okay, who's getting the hams? Bahamut getting all of the hams. Very nice. Kinshir and Lord Canis going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. All right, zooming in on our Medusa. Great print. I love the hairpiece with the snakes. It's fantastic. There's her other face. She's not glaring. Here's where she's glaring, you know, ready to strike all of you down, turn you to stone. Hopefully none of you did get turned to stone, because that would suck for me, losing out on viewers. But, you know, I mean, if it happens, right? So a very snaky tail. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. She wants the head of Perseus? She does. She does. Okay. I guess she goes like this. Alright, so that is our first Medusa. I am not sure how many Medusas are in the set. Probably 2 or 3. I would love it if there were more. And for the final minifig, for the night, we've got our Spider-Man set. All right, there we go. So let's start our prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. We have not gotten 1, 2, 8, 11, and 12. So we've already gotten 3, Bahamut, so you'll need to re-roll. Dinin Doerden as a Drider. Dinin? A Leonin stone sculpture. Warning, getting her to balance can be a bear more often than not. I mean, that way, yeah, but... Like, balance how? Like... She'll stay standing up. A Minotaur commissioned as a gargoyle sculptor. Alright, let me go ahead and get my scanner ready. Four we've got. It's 1, 2, 8, 11, and 12. Those are the ones that we haven't gotten yet. 1, 2, 8, 11, 12. 12 then, alright. Werewolf Spider-Man. And we'll get my D12 all ready as well. Drist's brother? Ah, okay. I have not read many of the Drist books. Very much didn't care. Yeah, I have not read Legacy. I think I read the first 3 that were published, and that's it. Alright, predictions are just about closed, and now they are. Alright, so first of all, let's go ahead and shake it. Okay, I'm not hearing a box. Alright, I'm going to guess Sun Spider, number 8. Let's roll the die. 6, I need a reroll. 12, alright. That is Werewolf Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and weigh it. 16.2. I'm going to say 1, Miles Morales. Alright, so let's see what is correct. Alright, it is Charlotte Weber, Sun Spider. Alright, it is number 8. My guess was correct. Alright. No, I didn't. I missed those. Sorry. Alright, so let's choose the outcome. Yes with guess. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Alright, Bahamut and Kinshi are getting all the hams. Shield of Hope, Lord Canis going for a yes with die roll. No one going for yes with wait. And Lel Bunny going for no. Man, why couldn't I have gotten it with the wait? Dang it. So she has a baseball cap, but the, Oh, wow. Okay, so it is specifically a baseball cap intended to be worn backwards. And she has crutches, which are very neat pieces. This is why I got, like, I needed one of these to get the sheet. So this is the one that I got because I figured the cap was pretty cool, and also the crutches were pretty neat. With these, I could make Carrie Weaver from ER. All right, so let's go ahead and mark that one off. So that means 1, 2, 11, and 12 are the only ones that we have not gotten. No, they're not Tonfa. they're most definitely not Tonfa. They are, I should zoom in. Well, so they're not crutches per se. They're more for people who have weakness in a leg rather than like a broken leg. So, I don't know if you've watched ER, but the character Carrie Weaver, used one. So it's an interesting hat that, you know, it is specifically, like, designed to be worn backwards. So I really do like the crutches as well. Okay. So there we go. Sounds like the books milked the Drizzt character for all they're worth and beyond. I mean, they keep selling, so there is a reason why they kept making more, and they have continued to make more. All right, but that is going to be where we wrap it up tonight. Just want to check something. We will be back on Friday to build something else. Probably not going to start an architecture set. We will probably build something else, like a one-off thing. And I have an idea for that, actually. And then we will be back on Saturday for some more Spelljammer. We will be back on Monday for some more Dragon Quest II. We'll be back on next Wednesday to start a new architecture set. And I want to thank you guys for coming on out. Good night for finishing up our Eiffel Tower. Got the Medusa, which is a fantastic minifig. She can be the Medusa of Notre Dame, the giant Medusa of Notre Dame. And I want to thank you guys for coming on out. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. See you next time.